Well, hello! Ready to build another fuzz pedal? Today we're going to build this one. So I painted this afternoon. A little crab with some sand, and the circuit is going to be a Sunday drive circuit, but the thing about this circuit is that it has very few parts, so any little modifications make a big difference. So I figured out a way to turn this light overdrive into a more heavy fuzz pedal. So that's what we're going to do. Changing out a transistor, changing out the diodes. Instead of 3 diodes on each side, we're going to just use 1 diode on each side, and we're going to use germanium for that. So there's the germanium right there. Anyway, a lot of fun. So yeah, we're gonna use some of these leftover circuit boards. This was a pedal I released earlier and sold. I think I have 2 left. I may build some more, but I just have a bunch of leftover circuit boards, so I'm making some use of them, and they actually sound great. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna populate this board. So start putting some resistors in. Start with the 47K resistor, which goes right here. And come on, let me pull that through. Sometimes you gotta give them a little help. There we go. Next we'll get the 2.2 M right here. And then the 100 ohm. Just populating the resistors first, and then I'll solder them down. The LED 4.7K resistor goes right here. All right. Well, y'all having a good weekend? This is Friday. We're having a pretty good weekend. I painted some enclosures today, and went to Starbucks with my son, and then went on a walk with him at the Arboretum, which is really beautiful. And what else? I did this place called Kume's that I like to eat, but everyone else was asleep when I did that. It's basically like hibachi shrimp. And did a quick run to Hobby Lobby to buy some stuff. Bought some paints and paint brushes and stuff. And then this evening, Renee and I went to Home Depot, and I got an air compressor so I could do more painting stuff in the future. Alright, yeah, these look good. So next, I guess we can put the diodes. Those are always, they're kind of the same shape as resistors, so those are a good one to put in up front. See that little white line on it? Well, normally you'd follow what the graphic says, but since these are different diodes than the ones that usually go in here, it's going to be opposite. So the line represents the positive on these diodes here. So go the opposite direction. And then I'll have to seal off the loop here with some wire. Let's go ahead and do that too. But yeah, decent Friday. Started a new show called Boston Blue. We've finished Blue Bloods, and so we're all out episodes on that one. So now we're starting Boston Blue. We're halfway through the first episode, and I think we like it. Josie worked today. She's one of those caretakers that goes to the home. So she was caring for a couple today. And I think Donnie worked a double today. We're gonna go eat lunch over there, but it just didn't happen. Well, next time, I guess. All right, time for the transistor. So this is actually a switch up. I'm putting in the BC549C instead of the 2N3904. That's what usually goes in here. And this one's kind of psycho compared to the other one. This one goes 610 HFE, so very high gain compared to the other ones, which were, you know, like around 200 and something like that. Always under like 300. So, and this also goes in reverse. So if you look at the little shape on the board, let's see if it'll show us. Doesn't want to focus. Okay, fine. But yeah, basically this little shape right here, we're gonna disobey it and go the opposite direction because it's a different transistor that has a different pinout on the legs. We're also changing some of the potentiometers, so changing from a B5 to a C1, so a different taper and a different value of resistance, but also changing from an A100 for the volume to a B100, so that way it'll be perceived as a little louder even though it's not. It just gets there quicker. Like by the time you turn it up you know, a little bit, you could start hearing it, versus having to go up to noon just to start hearing it, you know. It's just not as soft as a circuit as the original intention of this design, the Sunday drive. But yeah, this is no longer a Sunday drive, it's just using the same circuit board. It's completely different sounding, completely different. I think what else we did today, I did a little painting. Renee had to tutor a couple students. But yeah, pretty short day for work. All right. Next, capacitors. I'll take my glasses off. It's a little easier to do this without my glasses, as I'm nearsighted or whatever. Let's go for gold. What do we got here? All right. We're almost done with the components. There's not very many of them on this circuit, and sometimes that's good, because if you have a lot of components, like little changes don't make as big a difference as they do on something like this. So if you're like completely overhauling a sound, it's a little bit easier when you have less components, I think. I did an overhaul on this Klon-like circuit, and it took me like a whole day, like from 9 in the morning till 2 a.m. the next morning, to modify it to where I liked it, where this one only took maybe an hour. Okay, what we got here? Where are we now? What are we missing? A couple more capacitors. The electrolytics. Put the 100 in first. This is this big fat one. Put that one in. I'm gonna tighten this down. This is ridiculous. There we go. It keeps moving on me. Then this one, 10 microfarads. That was nice. I didn't solder that one down. So, very professional. Alright. Give these a little more time. Right. Let's see if we can do this one right this time. goes in there. All right. So that is the bulk of it. So now, yeah, I might try to make this one a little prettier. This one's kind of hanging out halfway. Let me. And then I'm gonna give it a little more solder too. Just flow that again. Just to make sure it doesn't come apart in a year or something. There we go. Good shape, good shape. Give it a second, let it cool. And let me snip. Snip. All right. So now, could do wiring, could do the LED. Let's do the LED. Gotta remind myself. I gotta remind myself which one is positive, which one is negative when they're not red and black. So white is negative in this case. And negative is the one with the sharp corner, the sharp edge, I should say, the flat edge. Okay. All right. Next. Let's do some wiring, I guess. Get some wire. So I'm going to wire the foot switch. So we need 4 little pieces like this. Okay. These go in here like this. Let's see. They go in like that. Hold them down with some tape. And solder. Solder. had a pretty good week. I had my sister-in-law in town, so Renee is my wife, and then her younger sister is Tessie, and their whole family came to visit. So almost each evening after work, I would head over there and we'd have some good food and just, you know, visit. It was a good time. Simple, nice. They were celebrating an anniversary, this 19 years on Wednesday, which was kind of cool. I think Renee and I have them beat. We're 26 years, but they're catching up. All right. Black wire. Here we go. So doing some more wiring now on the other side. So this'll be like what you call grounding. These two edge ones will go to the little jack. These will go to these. You know, the input and output jack. All right. There we go. You know, I could go for gold, right, and try to do all four at once. It's just, sometimes it's better just lock down a few and then come back, even though it takes longer. Just because the risk is they all fall out while you're working. And it's just super annoying when that happens. So sometimes I like, when it comes to wiring, sometimes I like to just lock down what I can. And you know, it's the same like when you're carrying the groceries in from the car. It's like, do you want to do them all? And then like you have purple fingers and like your doors are open so the animals run out. Or do you want to just do 2 loads, you know? I'd rather do 2 loads. Okay. Red. Red. So this is our positive. This will go to our power jack. Positive. And these ones in the front, they really don't need to be very long because, you know, if you look at the enclosure, like the power's right here. And so we're at the top already. So there's really not much need for a long wire there. I don't like getting it so precise that like there's risk of not having enough. Like sometimes I feel like when I buy kits, they come with these like little 1-inch wires. It's like, come on. You're telling me there's no room for error here. Okay. Let's see what we're missing. Everything's looking good. I think we're ready to move on to the enclosure stuff, so put that here. Maybe I'll zoom this out. Whoops. Let me zoom out. There we go. I don't need this anymore. Cool. All right. So I'm going to trim up some of these wires. Okay, so I guess I can trim up some of these too. Okay. I'm gonna set these in the do this foot switch thing. Wiring up this foot switch. It's like a little shortcut right there. I forget who taught me that. Somebody online, one of these online people. I think it was Hello Sailor. Somebody taught me this. Gotta be careful with this foot switch because they melt easy. Not super good about tolerating high heat. So there's that. Okay, now we got to get this. I get this in there. So let's see. There, we got it. Okay, got it. So now I'm just gonna make it look nice, straighten it out, bend them into place. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so now let's just solder it down. More of the same, more of the same. It's fun stuff. It is relaxing though, I think. Soldering, I like it. I'm turning it sideways to get the flat part of the soldering iron on in there so it'll heat fast. It'll transfer the heat faster. Of course, tinning it or putting a little solder on the tip of the soldering iron is helpful in spreading the heat quicker too. Not that we're in a big hurry. I mean, the whole point for me is to slow down, kind of unwind for the day. Okay, so now I Could finish the switch, I guess. I'll finish the switch. Getting there. Alright, so now let's solder up the DC jack. Okay, so, and actually, I plan on using one of these for this too. The little battery going. So I'll put that in there too. So, what that means is I need to prepare this, and I'm going to go with the negative first. That just makes sense in this case because it's lowest, closest to the floor of the pedal enclosure. So what I'm trying to do, I don't know if you can see that, trying to thread it through the DC jack's holder. There we go. Let's go ahead and nail that down. Lock it in. Okay. So this would go next. And this would go here. Let me see if I can kind of shape this a little better for the task at hand. Also see a stray wire trying to get away. Alright. Don't want those wires to get away, because if they touch something else they cause a short and then you get no sound. Alright. One's good. And then the last one is the little positive wire from the wall DC adapter. Come on now. Come on, push. Push. Okay. There goes. Very nice. All right. So now these things. So this is regular ground. We'll just go ahead and solder him down. Okay, and then we need this one here for the battery. Maybe I can do a better job of shaping this. The old sleeve. Alright. Where is it? Ring. It's a ring tip sleeve. That looks good. So now the tip we can just use. We can use this. I'm gonna go ahead and tin this. It'll make it a little easier to work with once it's installed, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, first one right here. Okay. Work on this one. Okay, so I'm just putting these together now, and electronically this thing is all hooked up and ready to test. So now it's just mechanically, you know, just getting it put together. I guess we need to put our battery in. That'd be the last step if we want to use it. Okay, I am going to use this as a tool to kind of move things around a bit. Okay, almost done. Okay, so now just tighten this down. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue the LED in. Okay, and then the battery, there's a little battery. Let's sign it. We'll just assume it works. No, we'll test it, but sign it. What's the date? I'll find the date. I think it's the 2nd. Yeah, the 2nd. Me too. So 5/2/26. That dry for just a sec. knobs on this. And it will be ready to ship. Of course, I'll test it with a DC jack and stuff as well. Make sure everything looks and sounds okay, and send it off. Yeah. We're in good shape here. There it is. Nice. All right, let's test it. This is with it off. Turn the fuzz down some, maybe compensate by turning the volume up some. I love germanium. They sound so like crackly. It's awesome. Anyway, good night. Anyway, good night. Have a good rest of the weekend. Bye.